Welcome to Catholic Views. I'm your host, Renee Kranz. Today on the show, we will have Father Jordan Sampson here. He is the Director of Vocations. He's going to talk about ordinations that are coming up and just some priestly life type subjects. Before we get to Dr. B, he's, of course, here for Biblical Bites. But I wanted to let you all know that most of our podcasts, Catholic Views, Ignition, Lead 'em to Life, and possibly Faith and Politics are all available as podcasts. So wherever you get your podcasts, do a search for us. I know we're on Spotify and Stitcher, possibly Apple iTunes. Not sure about that one.
Some of them are.
Yeah, some of them are. So search for us. You can listen to us that way if that is the way you prefer to get your podcasts. So
actually, so real quick, how would you summarize each of them?
How would I summarize each of the shows?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Catholic Views is just kind of a amalgam of all kinds of interviews talking to all kinds of people. It's been around a long, long time. So Ignition, it's more of a learning about your faith kind of show. Yeah?
Sure.
I think. Lead 'em to Life is more of a life, almost a faith in life kind of. Yeah, that wasn't a very good explanation, but normal life and how faith intersect.
Mm-hmm.
Faith and Politics would be definitely about politics and how our faith is intertwined in that.
Gotcha. Okay.
And should be. Does that help?
That sounds great.
Okay.
So
Dr. B is here.
Wherever you find podcasts, you can find them. And I am, here.
Yes.
So, hi, Renee.
Hi.
What's today?
Today is the 5th Sunday of Easter.
What's this Sunday's nickname?
You didn't say that earlier. Oh, no. Nothing.
Correct.
I don't have Bill here today
Well
to
done.
slough the questions off on.
Yes. No, but you came through. Where are we at in Easter then?
So I think halfway. Yeah?
Yeah, just over. So
Roughly.
how many Sundays are there in the Easter season, Renee?
Okay. There's 7 Sundays of Easter, but there's 8 Sundays in the Easter season.
Right, because
Pentecost?
Pentecost.
Yeah. Because Pentecost.
Because Pentecost. Yeah, Pentecost is the last actually day of the Easter season.
Yeah.
And so it's within the Easter season, but we don't call it the 8th Sunday of Easter. We call it Pentecost. Great. Well done.
And then they
You
go
are
back to
doing
green
well.
for vestments. Is that right?
Back to ordinary time
Yeah.
the day after. Yep. And of course, that's changed throughout time. There used to be a Pentecost vigil or a Pentecost octave, for instance.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was before Vatican II. You were alive then. I think.
No, I was not.
Anyway,
that was not nice either.
So-
But I was not alive back then.
It wasn't that long ago. Plenty of people were alive then, Renee.
Yes,
Just
but I
because
was
you
not.
weren't. You were not. So today, the 5th Sunday of Easter. I almost said Lent. I almost said
That's difficult to not say Lent.
the 5th Sunday of Easter, and I want to focus on the first reading, and somebody in particular in the first reading. So the first reading is from Acts of the Apostles, chapter 9, and it begins this way. When Saul arrived in Jerusalem, he tried to join the disciples, but they were afraid of him, not believing that he was a disciple. So this is Saul, this is Paul, right after his conversion, and I can understand why, because he was there when Stephen was martyred. Then he goes to Damascus in order to jail the Christians. So I can understand.
Yeah.
And they were afraid of him, not
just
believing he
slightly.
really was a disciple. But then we read, then Barnabas took charge of him and brought him to the apostles. So this figure who actually, when we read Acts of the Apostles, this is not the first time this guy shows up, but Barnabas somehow, whoever he is, and that's what we're going to talk about, but he sort of speaks on Saul / Paul's behalf and brings no. This is for real. And Paul is able to talk to the apostles about what happened to him, how Jesus revealed himself to them, and so on. So, but who is this Barnabas figure who we're reading about in Acts of the Apostles? So. Now, Renee, we talked about this a little bit already, so it's not as fun when you
because
know.
this is our take 4.
Right. This is, exactly. So what do you remember about Barnabas?
Well, he's a disciple.
Yep.
And now, do we hear about him before Acts of the Apostles?
Oh, before Acts? Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
So he's new in that part
He's
of the
new
Bible.
in Acts of the Apostles. He's a disciple. I'm not sure for sure if he's called an apostle, like not one of the 12, but one of the other apostles, like Paul, who appears in the scene later.
Right.
But he does show up earlier in Acts of the Apostles as a man. So he's a Cypriot, which means he's from
Cyprus.
So in Ireland in the Mediterranean, and he is a Levite, which means he's of the
priestly class.
Right. So he's not a priest himself, but sort of from the priestly class. So his birth name was, do you remember this one?
His birthday?
Birth name.
Oh, I thought you said birthday. Okay, yeah, I do remember this. I thought first it was maybe a form of Judas, but you said it was Joseph.
Joseph is his birth name. But he's given the name Barnabas, which means son of encouragement, by the apostles. So I think, sold some of his belongings or had some money somehow that he gave to the apostles for them to distribute as they saw fit for their needs or the needs of the church.
The son of encouragement makes sense if he's encouraging them to trust Paul.
Right. Well, then there's certainly here too. So he and he was also, he's the one who earlier in Acts, after Saul's conversion, but he's the one who when actually it might be later. When, at a certain point, Christianity is spread to Antioch, and it's going beyond the Jews to Gentiles. And Barnabas hears about this, and he goes to Tarsus, which is where Saul was originally from, gets Saul, and basically enlists him in the work of evangelization, spreading the gospel in Antioch. Right. So he is the one who basically enlists Paul, early on in the work of proclaiming the good news of Jesus Christ to the Gentiles, going beyond the Jewish believers. So they become partners in the gospel. Initially, you read in Acts, we read about Barnabas and Saul, or Paul, Barnabas and Paul, Barnabas and Paul, Barnabas and Saul. But at a certain point, it flips when Paul sort of becomes the senior partner. And so it's Saul and Barnabas. And we didn't get to this in an earlier take.
Right.
They eventually they have a disagreement.
Oh yeah.
And a parting of ways.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Was that over? I can't think of the word. Shoot. What Jewish?
Circumcision?
Yes, thank you.
No, they agreed about circumcision.
Okay.
Their disagreement is about one of Paul's fellow disciples and Barnabas's cousin, John Mark.
Oh.
John Mark, I think, did something. I don't remember what it was, but Paul was dissatisfied with his behavior and said, no, he can't go with us. And Barnabas, yes, he can. No, he can't. Yes, he can. Fine. You go your way and I'll go my way.
Oh.
So they sort of had a falling out, if you will, but they both went on and proclaimed the good news of Jesus Christ. So Barnabas, not as well known as Paul, but he was the one who enlisted Paul in his work.
Ah, interesting stuff. Thanks, Dr. B.
You bet.